Department.
左手邊咧，咁就係我哋警察公共關係科高級
Next to
警
Mr.
司
Chair,
江永祥先生。
Mr. Kong
咁而
Chang.
喺江 Sir 嘅左手邊咧，咁就
And
係
next to
有
Mr.
組織
Kong,
罪案及三合會
and for
調
the
查科高級
Mr.
警
Lai
司
Kwai
李
Wah,
桂華
Senior
先生。
Superintendent of
咁我哋
OCTB.
去翻到台上面嘅左方，咁就
And on the left,
有行動部高級警司
We have
汪
Mr.
偉
Wang
瑞
Weishan,
先
Senior
生。咁啊，汪
Superintendent
Sir
of
隔離咧就
Operations,
係
and
網
next to
絡
him
安全及科技罪案
is
調查科
Superintendent
副
of
警司
Cybersecurity
莫俊
and
先生。
Technology
咁
Crime
稍後
Bureau,
咧，有
Mr.
港姐會
Swalik
先生發言啦。
Mohammed.
咁跟住有個答
The
問
speaker
環
would
節嘅。
speak
咁
in
麻
turns,
煩
then will
想
open the
發
floor
問
to
嘅媒體
questions.
麻煩
And
舉
may
舉
the
手，
media
開
who
到
like
隨
to
同埋
ask
嘅。
questions,
咁
please
大家講出嚟
may
自
put
己
up
嘅
their
媒
hand
體，
and we'll
咁
hand
啊
over
最
the
多可能
microphone.
3。
And the
咁
maximum
啊，
question
以為
per
是啦，
reporter
我
is
再俾人
3.
交俾你主持。
Without further delay, I'll hand over the floor to Mr. Chuck.
喺過去嘅4個多月，
Over the 4
暴力嘅破壞、
months,
傷人放火嘅
scenes of violent destruction, arson, and assault has become routine.
往往都
Very
係先
often,
有一啲
it
貌
starts
似
with a
和
seemingly
平嘅遊行，
peaceful public
然後又有一批
procession, then
着住
a
黑衫
black-clad
蒙面嘅人
person
四
that
處
with
去
face
破壞
covered will
放火。
destroy and
近
set
日甚
fire.
至出現呢有
And
土製炸彈
recently,
或
we
者
started
係
to have
懷疑炸彈。
homemade bombs or suspected
連
bombs.
月嚟呢啲暴力破壞嘅
This
畫面已經令
scenes
到
of
人
violent
非常之討厭，
destruction have become very
市民嘅生活咧
tiring,
亦都受到極大嘅
nauseating,
困擾。
while the public's
咁我哋
life
準備
has
咗一
been
啲
disrupted
片段
significantly.
概括
We
翻
have
昨日嘅
prepared
破
some
壞情
clipping
況。
to sum up
咁我
yesterday's
請大家一齊
destruction.
睇一睇個影片。
We now play the clips, please.
喺接住落嚟 當我一路講述嘅時候咧，
So
電視熒
while
光幕咧
I'd explain,
都會有相關嘅相片去輔助大家。
there will be photos put on the screen, so please take note to the screen as well.
暴徒嘅破壞咧
Yesterday,
影響住廣大市民
the
嘅生活
destruction by the violent protesters have affected the lifestyle of the population. Wherever they go,
交通亦都受
shopping
到
malls have
影
been
響
closed early.
市
While
民出入咧
traffic have been disrupted, the
暴徒
public
廣泛
simply
咁樣打爛
couldn't go
馬路上
anywhere.
嘅交通燈
They have extensively
扯爛
damaged
晒
the
所有嘅
traffic
電線
lights and pull out this wiring.
有超過100
There's
座
over
嘅交通
100 sets
燈
of traffic
係損壞晒
light
當中有
destroyed.
93座
About 93 of those
仍
are
然係未
still
曾恢復
out
運作
of order,
主要係喺油尖旺區
mainly in the
包括
Yao
彌敦
Wang
道
district,
廣東道
mainly Nathan Road, Canton Road.
過去
Over
幾
the
個月
past few
其實已經
months,
有超過400組
over
交通燈
400
先
sets
後
of
被
traffic
破壞
lights have been destroyed by the rioters successively. We passed by Kowloon today. You can see the scale of destruction, and the traffic queues have started from Tsim Sha Tsui all the way to Yamati in Tsim Sha Tsui. And as a result of the destruction in Kowloon district, over 16 bus routes had to be suspended. About 91 bus routes have been diverted. The target of the violent protesters have been targeting the local infrastructure, affecting passengers and visitors. Yesterday, the protesters threatened to extensive damage to the high-speed rail station in West Kowloon, and the number of passengers have halved from previous Sunday, only about 1,400,000. The destruction have disrupted traffic and affected livelihood. This harm others with benefiting no one. There are casually damaged public facilities and shops, but have the citizens and the vendors paying the bill. The violent protesters are targeting shops which they think have a different political perspective and willing destruction on banks, and also pry open the gates of the banks, snack shops, and Chinese medicine shops, and looted and gutted the shops and actually set fire to the shops. And some of the fires and smoke have actually went up to the domestic units upstairs. I would like to provide you with some relevant figures for reference. And just yesterday itself, there were 10 arson cases committed by the protesters, and from 1st of October to now we have over 80 cases of arson. And for just yesterday, there was 7 cases of criminal damage, and since the 1st of October, there were a total of 752. And most of the places destroyed or set on fire were shops. And while the shop only counted the stock, besides destruction, there are also lost property. In one particular case, they found that the value of lost property and gadgets and phones are worth a total of $2.5 million, and this having count the cost of repairing the shops. And for those who destroy the roller shutters and vandalize the store inside and even commit theft. This is not just criminal damage. They also commit a burglary. The maximum sentence is 14 years in prison. Since the 1st of October, there are 28 cases of burglary. And it has been proven that in unrest or protest, someone will seize the chance to loot the shops. Why could they do so? Because the rioters have broke open the gates. And the materials from a lot of construction sites have been taken by the protesters to set up roadblocks or to weapons to attack policemen. Since the 1st of October, there are 6 cases of theft.
The acts of the rioters actually have nothing to do with their demands. They are criminal behaviors. Just look at yesterday in Kowloon, over 100 petrol bombs have been hurled by rioters, and they have targeted MTR stations, banks, shops, police stations, and police officers. And there were a lot of fires being started whenever the rioters went. In Prince Edward, some rioters have heard petrol bombs from vehicular flyovers towards police officers being stationed down from the flyovers. And it was very fortunate that the explosion of the fuel bomb was next to the police officer instead of on him, and his legs were being burned. And 11 MTR stations entrances have been set fire to. And from the front line, we can see that when rioters were hurling petrol bombs, and they were getting more and more rampant and more reckless. And I just want the rioters to know that whatever they're doing, there will be consequences. Yes, last night, rioters have hurled petrol bombs at police vehicles, but those rioters have been immediately subdued by police officers. I just want to warn the rioters who are hurling petrol bombs that hurling petrol bombs is equal to arson, and according to Hong Kong's law, the maximum penalty would be life imprisonment. And whatever the demands that the rioters are saying they would like to achieve, it does not provide any justification for committing violent acts on police facilities, police officers. And recently, rioters have started using explosives, or they've been resorting to suspected bombs. And just yesterday in the Kowloon area, we have already spotted at least 4 suspected explosives, including at Prince Edward Laichikok Road, and we discovered a carton box that was connected to wires, and we suspected that it was a bomb. And while we had to deal with riots and unrest, at the same time we had to disperse a crowd so that explosives handling department's colleagues could deal with a suspected bomb, and they have decided to immediately detonate it. And rioters were using suspected bombs in order to distract police and in order to spread our resources thin. And so that was really very, very underhanded. More importantly, when these suspected explosives appear very frequently, then it would really insensitize the vigilance of our citizens. And when real bombs occurred, then they would not be taken seriously by citizens, and that could lead to a lot of casualties. And no matter what, for all suspected bombs, they would be dealt with professionally and very seriously, and especially in demonstration areas. Homemade bombs have occurred, and they have been set off clear police vehicles. I just want to say that yesterday, when there was very widespread riots, the police force continued to carry out crowd dispersal at various areas. I just want to report that yesterday afternoon at Tsim Sha Tsui Nathan Road, near the Kowloon Mosque, specialized vehicles for crowd management have made use of colored water in order to disperse the crowd, and accidentally the mosque was affected. And we just want to apologize once again to the Kowloon Mosque and also the Muslim community. And our police districts have taken the initiative to get into contact with Muslim communities and to apologize to them for the incident. I'm very appreciative that the Kowloon Mosque and the Muslim community have shown support towards the police, and we continue to maintain very close contact with them. Moreover, I understand that when police made use of colored water for crowd dispersal, other structures, including churches and residences, have been affected, and we like to apologize to any affected parties for that. If anyone or any parties have been affected by these actions, we sincerely would like to apologize to them. Hong Kong is a very diverse community, and the police force respects utmostly religious freedom and also all religious organizations. And definitely, there is no malevolence on our part and no intention on our part to offend any religious organizations. And we'll continue to maintain very close touch with religious and community leaders so that we can continue to maintain public safety and order. Now I'm going to repeat what I said in English.
Over the weekend, an unauthorized assembly in Kowloon yet again turned it into chaos. there was widespread rioting at different districts in Kowloon. Rioters set buildings on fire, disrupted transport facilities, launched hit-and-run attacks on public properties, and inflicted extensive damages to shops. There is also rampant looting of shops. Such routine rioting acts pose a grave threat to public safety. We express the strongest condemnation. As a matter of fact, rioters hurled more than 100 petrol bombs at buildings, police offices, and into crowds. Over 100 sets of traffic lights were damaged, and 93 of them are still out of order. The damaged traffic lights are located mainly in Yau Ma Tei, Tsim Sha Tsui, and Mong Kok districts. Today, our frontline officers have to direct the traffic on roads as an emergency measure. Most alarmingly, there were 4 instances where suspected bombs were found yesterday. The police strongly condemn all these lawless and reckless behavior. No excuse can justify these acts of violence against our own community. Due to rioting acts I just mentioned, our frontline officers had to use appropriate force to restore public order. At around 4 p.m., the police deployed a specialized crowd management vehicle to disperse rioters gathered on Nathan Road. As the vehicle approached Nathan Road outside the Kowloon Mosque, colored water was used for dispersal. During the process, the colored water inadvertently affected the entrance and front gate of the Kowloon Mosque. Immediately after the incident, our police representative offered sincere apologies to the chief imam and the Muslim community leaders. Later at night, the district commander of Yau Chim district and the representative of police public relations branch met with the imams in the mosque to show our concern. We are deeply concerned about this incident, so Chief Executive and Commissioner of Police visited the Kowloon Mosque to meet with the Chief Imam and Muslim community leaders this morning. The police have all along maintained a good relationship with the Kowloon Mosque and the Muslim community in Hong Kong. We are also aware that our use of specialized crowd management vehicle in Tsim Sha Tsui has affected another place of worship on Nathan Road. We certainly respected religious freedom in Hong Kong and will strive to protect all places of worship. As the head of the Kowloon West region, I would like to reiterate that we certainly do not have any malicious intent. We endeavor to protect the community. We once again express our sincere apology. Thank you. 接住落嚟咧，我想交俾阿謝 Sir 講一講過去週末警方行動中嘅拘捕數字等等嘅資料。阿謝 Sir，唔該，謝 Sir。
Now I'm going to hand over to Officer Jack. Now regarding number of arrests during the past few days, from Friday to Sunday or October 18th to 20th, 60 persons have been arrested, 53 male, 15 female, and their ages 15 to 67, and they were suspected of having committed a range of criminal behaviors ranging from theft, unlawful assembly, and being masked during unlawful assembly, criminal damage, wounding, public fighting, and possession of offensive weapons. And among one of the arrests yesterday, actually was acted upon intelligence that we received, and we intercepted a taxi, and we have intercepted a very large batch of few bombs, and there were 2 men on the vehicle, ages 31 and 34, and they were arrested for possession of offensive weapons. And in terms of court cases, a 22-year-old man was suspected of attacking another man in the afternoon of October 19th at 5 o'clock using a knife attacking the victim at the abdomen as well as back of the neck. And so he was being taken to court on the charge of wounding. And in terms of use of ammunition, the police force did not use any live ammunition. On Friday and Saturday, the police did not use any ammunition, but yesterday, in actions, the police used CS grenade plus CS round 260, rubber baton round plus rubber slug 130, super stock 20, 40 mm launcher 40. And during the weekend actions, 4 police officers have been wounded, and yesterday, a police officer was being injured by a few bombs, and the officer suffered second grade burn, and he was already released from hospital after treatment. I just want to clarify one thing. At 2 o'clock yesterday, a man walked past Tsim Sha Tsui police station, and he saw that there were rioters trying to damage facilities at the police station, and he took the initiative to try to stop them. However, he was being beaten up by the rioters, and he suffered injuries to his corner of his mouth. And our colleagues have immediately taken him so that he would not be attacked any further. And this is not a police officer.
And for the protests and assembly activities in Kowloon District yesterday, the participants has set up barricades and throwing petrol bombs and set fire at different places, including MTR stations, banks, shops, police stations, even at police officers, getting large-scale destruction and injuries. And for the fire related to yesterday's activities, most all concentrated in Kowloon, a total of 77 cases. We found that in Prince Edward Road West and intersecting the Electric Road, and some protesters hurled petrol bombs from the flyover, injuring officer, and multiple MTR stations, Tsim Sha Tsui, Mong Kok, and Prince Edward, Lai Chi Kok's, and other station exits that have been blocked by protesters or even set on fire or being thrown petrol bombs. On Nathan Road, multiple shops, banks have been set on fire. FST maintains that throwing petrol bombs and commit arson is disregarding human lives. Even for station exits and shops that have been closed, there might be staff doing maintenance or other duties. Obstructing the exits and setting fire seriously endanger public safety. And there are residents above the shops. There might be the elderly, children, or other mobility impaired persons. The fire and the smoke have spread. That is not something we can predict. If it can cause a blaze, the consequence will be unimaginable. The FST will deal with protest-related fire. We need to deal with other emergency calls. Well, on average, each day we need to deal with 90 fires, 100 special service requests, and over 2,000 emergency and ambulance requests. The road blocking and arson will affect our emergency services and resource allocation. For yesterday, in Kowloon District, the time arriving to scene, we only achieved a 43.2% that hit the performance target. You can see the impact to our services. And recently, someone has said on social media that the FST vehicles have been used by the police to provide cover or police to conduct dispersal operation. I would like to clarify that this had never happened. For yesterday, unlawful assembly, the protesters intercepted and obstructed our emergency vehicles from doing our duties. This is unacceptable. The FST will issue the strongest condemnation to such acts. I reiterate that saving lives and putting out fires at every second counts. Any obstruction will endanger public lives and property, which is extremely irresponsible. I'd like to take this chance to explain while there are police personnel on FSD vehicles or ambulances, for FSD vehicles, there is one scenario where police officer will board such vehicles. There were large fire or major incidents. When our mobile command unit arrived at the scene, the police officer may come up to do coordination or discuss our deployment. And for the police FSD vehicles running, there will not be officers inside. For ambulances, police officer may present in the following scenarios. First, the police may get injured or fell sick. In this case, our ambulance will transport them. And there were other police officers to protect the injured officers on the way to the hospital. For yesterday's unlawful assembly, for A360 ambulances, was exactly this case because it's transporting an officer burnt in operation to the hospital. Another scenario will be cases of criminal element, for example, traffic accidents or assaults. And for the A494 ambulances, in which a person claimed was being assaulted, and the police officer have boarded the ambulance to conduct investigation. Afterwards, it was decided that the person don't need to be accompanied to hospital, and the police officer got off the ambulances and was captured by the public and saw that there were a police officer coming down with the ambulance. After it was been decided that did need to be accompanied, and the ambulance just transport the injured person to the hospital. The third scenario, the injured person still need to assist with police investigation or arrested. In this case, police officers will board the FCV ambulances. For A173 ambulances, it was what happened, and this injured person refused to be sent to the hospital, and signed a declaration was taken away by the police for investigation. Another scenario, when an injured person whose mental state is unstable, for example, mentally incapacitated person or a drunk person, that he struggled while our ambulance were not able to control him, we might summon the police to the vehicle to assist. For all scenarios I mentioned, inside the vehicle in which there will be an injured person need to be taken to hospital before a policeman boarded the vehicle. And this has been the standing practice, and it's not a special arrangement due to the protests. We hope that the public will get to know more about our work, and the protesters should not obstruct the FSD vehicles and ambulance from doing our work, and the public should not always support for intercepting FSD vehicles. I hope that you can exercise your judgment and should not believe in such baseless rumors. I now hand over back to police. And for the upcoming Q&A session, I will arrange the officer to take the question. We'll now open the floor. TVB.